So it will be continue to be made in Mexico. The only ones going to be made in America are the Tundra and Sequoia in the San Antonio plant. The Tacoma will still be in Mexico. But how's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. Nate, what is up? Loud and clear. Juan, you can hear me. That is awesome. What is up? So cool. Well, I will go ahead and load up the page real quick for the taco, and we can go over it. And then as more questions will start to arise, we will start to ask some more questions as those start to come in. So, and maybe this will answer some of your guys' questions. So the last week was kind of crazy. Went to Hawaii and then was able to go to the Overland Expo after that to continue the Tacoma hype. But also in Hawaii, we had the Grand Highlander first drive. So I can't talk about any of that right now. But on May 30th, we will be able to talk about all Grand Highlander stuff, how it drove, the pricing, which I think a lot of people are going to be insanely surprised about the pricing, and then MPGs and all that good stuff. So I was able to drive 3 of them, the 2.4, 2.5 turbo, and the hybrid max. So I was able to drive all 3, but I unfortunately just didn't get a whole lot of time in them. We only had like 10 cars, I think, maybe even less than that, and even more content creators. They had to double up a lot of creators in cars, it seemed like, to get people going, and that's fine. People collabed and stuff, but I just wanted to drive each one individually, quick little same route that I got to drive all of them on. So that video will drop on the 30th. And then we also have some TX stuff. I just posted that video too. We got some TX stuff that will be happening on June 8th, and most likely some GX stuff coming soon as well, based on how they were kind of teased side by side. But let's talk about Tacoma as more questions start to come in and stuff. Let's talk about the Tacoma. Do you know when the SR5 will come out? So Tacomas, it's going to be like Tundra, guys. So there's going to be the normal I-Forces that come out first, and then later in 2024, the I-Force Maxes will come out. So the SR5, it will be part of that first bunch that will be coming out first. So they hope to start production Q4 of this year. So that may be like November, December timeframe for when these trucks will start to come out. So just basically think like 3rd gen Tundra. We got the 3rd gen Tundra around December timeframe. Late November, early December timeframe is when a lot of people were starting to get their Tundras. And then the I-Force Maxes, like the Tier D Pros and the hybrids, they started to come out later in like March-ish, maybe a little bit sooner. Some may have been in February, but it was like March, April timeframe that a lot of people really started to see the I-Force Maxes. Will the Trail Hunter come in as a manual option? Nope. So all I-Force Max vehicles, as we'll be able to see down here, all I-Force Max vehicles are going to have an automatic transmission. Dang, dude, Toyota really put a lot of photos on here. But if you go to Toyota's website and you go to upcoming vehicles, you'll see this whole lineup of trucks down here. So you can see that the I-Force Max twin turbo hybrid powertrain, same with this one as well, with a high mount intake, because that one has a snorkel on it. And then you can see here, right? These ones have available 6-speed transmission, Like a lot of them will say 6-speed transmission available. So we don't have like exact packages yet from Toyota on like what each vehicle will have, what premium package, whatever, right? We don't have those exact packages. But if you go to Toyota's website, they're giving us kind of like a little sneak peek. Whereas if you look at the pre-runner right here, you don't see it say available 6-speed transmission. Honestly, none of the extra cabs seem to have a manual transmission, whereas like the SR says available 6-speed, and that's most likely in the double cab configuration. So it says available in double cab 5-foot bed, an extra cab with 6-foot bed. Whereas over here on the SR5, it says available in double cab 5-foot bed or 6-foot bed, an extra cab 6-foot bed. No double cab 6-foot bed available, at least right now, on the Tier D Sport, or also it seems like on the Tier D Off-Road. So we will see when stuff starts to come out more for those in the future. How's it going, Steven? What's up? How much of the new Taco design do you think they will filter into the 4Runner when it shows up? Hopefully a lot. This Tacoma really has me excited for the new 4Runner. It really, really does. I've never been this excited for the 4Runner yet until this Taco, basically. Like the Tundra was cool. The Sequoia was cool. Don't get me wrong, but like this is the first time I honestly feel like we got a better glimpse into Toyota's midsize vehicles, and this Tacoma really, really has me excited for the new 4Runner. If the interior is almost anything like this, I'm gonna love it. Like the interior, I hope they're different interiors, not like the Tundra and Sequoia where they're literally the same. But yeah, the interior is nice for sure. Best guess of MSRP for the TRD Pro, I'm gonna say like 57, 58. Maybe borderline 60, because the new one's already like low 50s, or the current one's already low 50s, and it's such an old vehicle. This new truck has a lot of stuff to it, so hopefully it doesn't crest 60 for a TRD Pro. But the TRD Pro, so basically, guys, what the TRD off-road is of this generation right here, available iForce Max, yeah, that's sweet, but it has Bilstein monotube shocks with remote reservoirs. So the TRD Pro is like internally bypassed. They like these Bilsteins aren't, you know, as good as the Fox shocks on the current TRD Pro, but this TRD off-road for this 4th generation Tacoma is basically like what the TRD Pro was last gen. So this new TRD off-road is going to be really, really good. It has a brand new crawl control system. Like it's super quiet, just like the Tundra and Sequoia. It has a new multi-terrain select mode or features on it, which allow it to be in both 4 high and 4 low instead of just 4 low for multi-terrain select. So, and like the new, gosh dang it, and the new Tacoma TRD Pro is just going to be insane. Like the new Tacoma TRD Pro, it's so awesome. I mean, these seats back here, hopefully, you know, they don't cost an arm and a leg. 18-inch wheels, because the brakes on this Tacoma are actually pretty big. Like they're 17-inch brakes on certain models. So that's going to be kind of crazy to see for fitting like 17-inch tire or wheels on them. And then you have like QS3 internally bypassed shocks that feature 2.5 aluminum housings. I mean, and they're adjustable. Like they have 3 presets. So like the new TRD Pro is actually something good. Is it true that the previous Tacoma pre-runner was a trim level? That is very true. And it ran up until 2015. So it was kind of like based on a TRD off-road, but they called it pre-runner. And really like the name went away, but you could get a 3rd generation TRD off-road in 2-wheel drive, and it had a remote, a rear locker. So it was basically like a pre-runner. Toyota just didn't call it a pre-runner. It was just a TRD off-road that was 2-wheel drive. Any special colors for the Pro anticipated, or basic colors only? There is a Pro color that is coming in summertime. They said it'll be revealed on during the summer. Great videos from Hawaii you did. I appreciate it. I have one more with the Tacoma Limited, but I felt like everyone was not getting overwhelmed with Tacoma content, but it was a lot of Tacoma content that people threw at everyone. And I mean, I did too. A lot of you guys wanted to see it, but I'm going to take like a day or 2 break, and then I have the limited Tacoma video. I may post it tomorrow because I have other videos that I feel are kind of time sensitive with the new Tacoma. Like, hey, John, are you going to buy it? What trim level are you going to get? How many deposits do you already have at dealerships? John, have you seen that the Tacoma is like way better than the Tundra with certain features? What features do you wish your Tundra had versus that? And plus 2, we got like a crap ton of new subscribers. So I want to also kind of address like what the channel is. Like it's not just a review channel. So when I start to put more mods onto the Tundra, right, because we have suspension coming for the Tundra, wheels, tires, a bed cover from Paragon. We have stuff for the inside of the Tundra. So it's not just like, whoa, why is this guy doing installs on a Tundra when I subscribe to him for Tacoma content? So a lot of stuff coming, guys. It definitely does not stop, and I am perfectly okay with that. Love your 4Runner. We're going to answer some questions real quick, guys. Love your 4Runner. I have a TRD Off-Road 2020. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Did you meet Savage Geese there? His reviews are A plus. So I have not met. I forget the main guy's name. That's horrible. Mark. I haven't met Mark in person, but I have met Jack. I believe his name is Jack, the taller gentleman. Yeah, I've met them. I've met a lot of cool people, and everyone is like super nice. It's not like fame has. I mean, fame's gotten to some people, you can tell, but like when you talk to them, they at least don't seem that way. But like Andre and Nathan, like they were there, and we were just all swarming these trucks and Flagstaff, and everyone was able to stay like out of each other's way. Tim Estradal, pickup truck, SUV talk, like he was there. We're all able to stay out of each other's way. Toyota Jeff and like tons of other creators. But it's just very, very awesome. Paul says, I knew you couldn't hold back on getting a 2024 Tacoma. Why would I hold back? I didn't even try to hold back, dude. I knew that when this truck was coming out, like even when I bought my third gen Tacoma, I knew that it was only going to be a 6-month, 7-month truck, maybe. And then we would sell it, just gain content for the third gen one last time, building one up, actually enjoying to off road with it, going on a few overlanding trips with it, sell that truck. Whatever money we make, just put in the little piggy bank for the 4th gen Tacoma. But yeah, I was never even going to try to hold myself back at all. And I'm so glad I wasn't, because this new truck it's something for sure. How are the TRD off-roads? No one mentions the off-road versions because they didn't have any. So the reason we only showed the ones that we showed is literally there are only 6 Tacomas, at least, to our knowledge, 6 Tacomas that are like show worthy. The rest of them are just all prototypes that have been bashed around. They're proving grounds, have hundreds of thousands of miles driving on them and stuff. So, I mean, a lot, and they're like Frankenstein together, and power plants probably taken in and out of other vehicles or whatever. But like, to my knowledge, there's only like 6 good ones that have been built. And that pre-runner that was at the Overland Expo, it had literally just gotten built like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I think they said, and it had under 1 mile on it, which was crazy. So that truck will probably start to get tested, or maybe that's just a show truck as well. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But that's why no one showed the SRs, no one showed an SR5, no one showed the TRD off-roads, because they literally don't have them built. They're just 3D renderings, unfortunately. That's all we have. You've been doing some awesome content. Great work. I appreciate that, Craig. You guys have been doing awesome by watching, which is freaking awesome. And I appreciate that. Andrew says, is it worth waiting for the iForce Max engine? I'm not sure yet. We will tell once the MPG numbers come out, once pricing comes out, and how they drive. But I think that the normal iForce motor for the Tacoma will be great. It's going to be just as powerful in a sense as the V6 is, right? It's going to have a little bit more torque. The horsepower, I believe, is exactly the same as the current outgoing V6, but the torque is more at 317. But it does have a brand new 8-speed transmission, which is nice. So that was the Achilles heel of the current third gen, was just the 8-speed transmission, or the 6-speed transmission. So this one has a new 8-speed. Excited to see how it is at the drive event. Any chance the 4Runner will get a manual? I don't think so. The 5th gen didn't have it. 4th gen didn't have it, right? Yeah, no. It's been 2 generations that the 4Runner hasn't had it. I don't see the demand for it, honestly, except for, a couple people that would want it, but I don't think so. Do you think that it's a good idea to buy a 23 4Runner TRD Pro, or while I wait for a 24 Tacoma? Yeah, I mean, if you're talking right now, sure, go for it, because it's May and the truck don't come out until later in the year. Or if you want a hybrid max, it may be almost, or an iForce Max, it may be almost a year until you can get your hands on a 2024 Tacoma exactly what you want. So, and the cool thing about the Tacoma, it's not going to be, I mean, depending on the first year, right? It may not be as hard to get as the Tundra and as the Sequoia, hopefully, just because they're trying to maintain their same numbers that they're already doing, like 150 to 200,000, I believe, is what they do yearly for Tacoma. So it's not going to be like Tundra, where it's like vastly, vastly under that number. So the first month, obviously, month to 2 months will be like just insane. People trying to get them because it's the newest thing. It's going to be a lot of demand for this truck. I know it will be. It's such a like first impressions with this truck were just so good. Um, so the first few months, like maybe even the first 6 months, are just going to be high demand, high demand, high demand. But then I feel like once those people get it, and the people that were kind of on the fence, and then they start to increase the inventory and stuff, and hopefully the world doesn't go crazy during elections. I think that there will be plenty of inventory of this taco for everyone that wants it to hopefully get it. Did they give any hints on MPGs? No. So this is the 2.4 liter turbo that is in the same Highlander, and it has an 8-speed in the Highlander. Granted, that's a crossover that's a little bit lower to the ground and not like a truck configuration. So I feel like if you want some info, right, or some guesstimation on MPGs, let's look up 2023 Highlander 2.4 liter MPG. Why can't it just give me a number? Why is technology like this where it just can't freaking give you a number? How much? Okay. So it says, thanks, car and driver. It says 24 MPG combined, 21 city and 28 on the highway. And that is with the Highlander with the same kind of configuration of motor. So with it being a truck lifted up, a little bit heavier ish, maybe 19 in the city, 20 in the city with like 25 on the highway. That would be my guess for this. And hopefully will be a little bit more for the Hybrid Max. iForce Max. I keep saying Hybrid Max with that truck because it's the 2.4 liter. My bad. Are you going to sell your Tacoma for the 24 Tacoma? That I am. So my Tacoma TRD Pro was always meant to be a like a shelf life of 6 months. And we're actually getting kind of close to that in June, July timeframe. So yes, I'm selling that, and I will be selling the Sequoia. I'm going to be listing that this week, most likely, guys. Are you happy with the disconnecting sway bar addition, or would you have rather seen a front locker? Huge. I may make a video on this, but Tim from Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, I'm not sure if you guys follow him, but over on his channel, he was able to record Sheldon Brown, who's the chief engineer for the Tacoma, and he was able to record his reason as to why the Tacoma doesn't have a front locker. Personally, I think it's okay to not have the front locker in this truck. One, it saves your axles. Like I know some people with front lockers, they'll either forget that it's on, or they'll turn too hard, or they'll floor the vehicle. It's really, I think, meant for experienced off-roaders to have a front locker in their vehicle. And a lot of unexperienced off-roaders may just snap axles and stuff if they're not used to it, right? But a disconnected sway bar is a nice alternative to that, because all it's going to do is just allow you to have even more articulation. So the reason you would need a locker is if your wheel's up super high, right? And you can't get that traction. But hopefully with a disconnecting front sway bar, if your wheels are up high, you disconnect that, the wheel comes down, it can get some traction. And Toyota's crawl control is just really, really good. So that's my reasoning for that. That's a great price, but it'll make you wonder if I should go for the Tundra. Yeah, that's true. Tundras are a bit more than Tacoma, though, and every single year they keep going up. Yeah, sorry if I missed questions, Anthony. Get a lot of questions, man. I try to answer everyone as closely as I can, or as quick as I can. And if not, I mean, I'm not pushing it, but if people donate, they definitely get their questions answered, or send super stickers like Eric. Thank you so much, dude. $2 going straight towards gas or towards this YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys. Pro Outdoor says, did they mention whether those isodynamic seats are going to be an option on the TRD Pro, or will they have them standard? So I did ask this, and they said that they are aiming to have everything that they showed on like the Trail Hunter and on the TRD Pro standard. So, and it also kind of sounded like that they may be thinking about those seats to be available for other model vehicles as like a Toyota add-on, but not obviously, to the extent of looking like a TRD Pro seat, right? It may just be like an all black thing that you could potentially put in like a TRD off-road. So I'm very excited to try those seats out. Like, long story short, if you guys don't know what those isodynamic seats are, think of your body as like your phone, right? So your body's your phone, and a seat is your like a gimbal. If you guys ever saw a gimbal on a phone. So like you could run all like this and move it all around, and your phone's pretty much staying still. So those seats act as the gimbal. And as you're like driving and off-roading and going all over the place, that seat is trying to stay, is trying to make your body stay in position. So very cool. Add that with the QS3 shocks, like almost 33-inch tires. I mean, the Tacoma TRD Pro is going to be really awesome. I think it's going to be really cool. Do you think you'll need be able to fit 35s without any body mount chop? I really do on this new Tacoma. So the whole fender well of the Tacoma, if we can see it a little bit. So the whole fender well of the new Tacoma is very awesome. So I mean, zooming in real quick to this, you can see the little cutout that they have in the front. I'm not sure if you guys can see my my cursor, but they have like a little cutout right here on the front, which is nice for added ground clearance and also like well, I shouldn't say ground clearance for departure angles, kind of, and approach angles, and I guess kind of ground clearance because this is a little bit shorter than like a normal bumper. But this whole fender liner, guys, is all felt liner, just like the Tundra, which is nice. And so you can see the clearance right here in the front for your tires, right? The current Tacoma, you would have to like do a mini little Viper cut or trim out this a little bit and push your plastic fender liner, which is a pain in the butt to manipulate. You would have to push all that back that way. And then the whole fender liner, you would have to heat it up, manipulate it even more. Such a pain in the butt. But this truck, and you could see it in some of my videos that I did, it has the felt liner, just like the Tundra. In the back of it too, like in the back here, where the mud flap is, there's also kind of the same looking area that the Tundra has to remove like that little body mount crash bar that's used for crash ratings for like a tire, so the tire doesn't go like into the cabin at a front end collision. So that's in there as well on the Tacoma. So I feel like this is a big wheel well area. I mean, this is already a 33-inch tire, right? And look how much space it has to the back. So you're only talking another 2 inches in diameter. Obviously, it depends on your wheel offset that you're going to do on the truck, but tons of room up front. It's a felt liner, tons of room in the back, and this is already a 33-inch tire. So I feel that they're going to fit 35s, hopefully no problem. No panoramic moonroof at all. Nope, only a standard moonroof. New subscriber, love your channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for subscribing. And I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to keep trying to push out this content as much as possible all the time for you guys. It will pivot from Toyota news to Toyota reviews, product reviews, all that stuff as well. I get press vehicles sometimes. Basically, if you like Toyotas and Lexus, I mean, hopefully you're on the right channel, right? So it used to just start out as Toyota modification videos with my 4Runner. That was my only vehicle. And then it turned into Toyota reviews, going to events, showcasing these vehicles for you guys. Basically, I like to think of my channel as I showed you the product, like I showed you guys this 2024 Tacoma, right? And if you really liked it because of my videos, or you know, an accumulation of videos and research, and then you bought it, and then you're like, well, what do I do? Well, now my channel, I also show you like potential lift kits for it, tire options, lighting, how to do lighting with your truck, bed racks, whatever else like that you want to do to your truck. I try to show you like from purchase to, you don't have to build your truck exactly like mine, but from when you purchased your vehicle and you may want to modify it a little bit, however you want to off-road or do stuff with your vehicle, I try to show you guys that as well. So the review videos have been doing a lot better than modification videos, just because I guess I've been doing more Toyota news and reviews lately versus you know, modification videos. But granted, a lot of the vehicles that I have right now are a little bit older, the 4Runner and Tacoma, and we just got the new Tundra. So the Tundra will start its build again soon. And the Sequoia, like I said, most likely we'll be selling that just because of some life things that it doesn't make sense to keep it. But I'll talk to you guys about that for sure. Trail Hunter Media Display Promo Kit. Time reads 10/10. October 10th is a Tuesday. Maybe we'll get more information that day. That would be sweet. Or maybe that will be for us media people when the embargo stuff gets to go live. That would be cool. But 10/10, October 10th is a Tuesday. Jesus, that's a tongue twister. That's crazy. Chris says, waiting for the 4Runner and Land Cruiser before I choose to trade my 4Runner TRD Pro. Yeah, if we do get a new Land Cruiser, I think this new GX is going to be a a little hint as to if we do get like a Land Cruiser Prado. So when we see this new GX and we see this new Tacoma, right? We've already seen the Tacoma. We know the new GX is going to be coming. I will get to showcase it for you guys on this channel. Little plug right there. So I do know when the new GX is coming. I can't tell you guys that yet because Lexus did not reveal that information publicly. But a lot of people that have seen it are saying like the new GX is wild. I haven't seen it yet, but we got GX, we got Taco, a lot of big cool things happening with Toyota and Lexus the next few years. Like it's going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be awesome. Because if you like, just think of Toyota's lineup, right? Like a lot of old vehicles in their lineup with a lot of new things coming. Like this new generation of Toyota is coming. We got new RAV4s coming eventually, new normal Highlanders coming eventually, new Camry stuff coming, right? Potentially a new sports car, MR2, or new Supra, new 4Runner, potentially a new Land Cruiser, new smaller Toyota pickup truck, and then also these new vehicles. And then next thing you know, it's Tundra refresh, Sequoia refresh, Lexus stuff. So a lot of stuff coming. It's going to be a busy next few years, and it's going to be freaking awesome. That's for sure. Oh, crap. Sorry, Oregon. I just went straight away from your question. Any chance you could do a detailed video for ordering and buying the Tacoma? I will likely be buying a 4Runner next year and want to learn the ropes as I'm a noob. For sure. So what I've been doing right now is everyone and their mother that wants this truck is literally calling up their dealerships. And if you want a new Taco right now, you need to do this right now, or 4Runner or whatever. But I have gotten in contact with, I think, 5 or 6 dealerships now. So my local one, Panama City Toyota, one in Texas, one in Arizona, one in like Virginia area, the one Alexandria Toyota where I got my green Tacoma from. So that's 4. And then I'm going to talk to Jeff Westcott about one that he uses in Prescott, Arizona. So like 2 different ones in Arizona, Texas, Virginia, Florida. I want to find one in California or like Northwest as well, but the markups there are just crazy. So I'm kind of like just going here in the United States, kind of one in the middle in Texas, one up north, Southeast Toyota, and then one south, Southeast Toyota. So anyways, what I'm getting at is like I'm calling those dealerships, or I already did, said, hey, my name, potential deposit, this is what I want. At least now that we know what models there's going to be, right? So I already told them which one I want. I did do a poll on my community tab for you guys just to see what you guys want to see. But I will make a video most likely tomorrow or the next day addressing which one I have ordered on the list, right? So basically, I just told the dealerships, hey, this is what I want. I know there's no packages available yet, but if you need a deposit from me to like get on this list, let me know. And they're like, no, John, like YouTube, whatever, like you're on this list. So don't know where I am on lists on multiple dealerships, but I have contacted about 5. 4, going to contact the 5th, right? So you just got to go to these dealerships or call them if you can and say, hey, I would like to be on your guys' list. If the dealership does require a deposit, make sure that one is a refundable deposit. And with that deposit, like I did for my Sequoia, like I did for my Tundra, you should hopefully get a printout from the dealership saying your name deposited X amount of dollars for this vehicle on this day with an estimated arrival date. And they'll probably put like November, December or something like that, right? So at least you have that physical paper showing that you put money down for that vehicle. You just got to go to dealerships and just get that done. And if hopefully the dealership says, yeah, we'll sell it at MSRP, make them freaking put that on that thing. So that way, when you get there and that truck is there and they're like, oh, $5,000 over, be like, no, mofo, right here it said you would sell it to me at MSRP. I waited, blah, blah, blah. If not, take them to court, whatever. Hopefully that answered your question. I'm in a long way too. If you guys are new to these live streams, I like to answer people's questions, and we have a shit ton of questions. Holy crap. I just saw that we have a lot of questions. All right, time to go through them. Did you see the new Tier D Pro Solar Octane Original Grain watch? I did. So Original Grain reached out to me to do a sponsorship thing for you guys. I don't typically do sponsorship stuff, but that I was gonna do because it kind of pertains to you guys and stuff. Like I know a lot of people like to collect watches. It was Toyota style. It had camo stuff on it. and they just didn't reach back out. So like we sent multiple emails back and forth to each other, and then they just never followed up. But I did see it. It is pretty cool. Did I hear correctly that the new off-road is not going to have a 6-foot bed? As of right now on Toyota's site, if you go over to the off-road, it does not show a 6-foot bed. So you guys can do this yourselves as well. Go over to Toyota's site for upcoming vehicles. You'll see here it says available 6-speed manual transmission, but it does not say anything about a longer bed. Whereas this one on the SR5, it says available with a double cab 5-foot bed or 6-foot bed. So of course, we still need more packages to come out in the future, and you know, get our actual information from Toyota. But yeah, right now we don't have anything really. This whole, oh crap, dude, I completely missed this big one also on it, but it's all good. But yeah. All right, no extra cab for TRD models. Nope, no extra cab for TRD models, unfortunately. Can still see Tacoma's testing. Oh yeah, they're going to be testing them for a while, for sure. They're going to, and even like after launch, they'll still be testing stuff. You know, I'm buying a Tundra TRD Pro to wait out the Tacoma Trail Hunter or a Pro. That would be awesome. Steven says Tundra is still hard to get. I'm super lucky to get my 23 OR that landed in my lap. Yep, they are definitely hard to get for sure. Front lockers when it makes sense. A-Track is better. 100%. I mean, I don't know about 100%, but for the majority of people that off-road, I think that will be very, very good. To me, if you need a front locker, you're in some deep crap anyways. Everyone is saying that the seating position is much better now in the new Tacoma, but truly, how much better is it? My biggest problem with the current Tacoma is not just the position, but the comfort, armrest, etc. So wasn't able to sit in it that long, right? I got like 20 minutes with each model, which is barely even enough. Like you have to do exterior, talk about stuff, and then jump in the interior, show those features. So really the seat time that I've gotten to sit in the Tacoma in like total, maybe a minute or two, like in total. So, but what I can say, and I want to go sit in my Tacoma, like with kind of the fresh knowledge in my head, is that it is so much better. It's so much better. TFL was lucky enough. They're a big YouTube channel and magazine or online articles based stuff. So I'm not gonna like get upset that I didn't have the time, right? Whatever. They're bigger than me, but they were able, luckily, to have a 4th gen and a 3rd gen right next to each other at that coffee farm in Hawaii. And they Roman got out of the 3rd gen, literally straight into the 2nd gen or the 4th gen. Jesus. 3rd gen to 4th gen, sat in the fronts of both, and clearly said that the 4th gen is so much better. I mean, I can actually sit behind myself in a 4th gen. My feet don't, or my knees don't touch the seat. The front seat is like comfortable. Like when I sat in it, I was just like, wow, this is a nice truck. Like it actually felt good. I didn't have to like duck my head and like shimmy on in and not hit the steering wheel and everything too. So it's a lot better. I can't wait to drive it. Dobby says, hit that like button. If you guys could hit that like button, that helps me out in so many ways that you guys don't even know. You know, like if you guys just watch videos, no one knows, right? If you just click the like button, YouTube helps propel those videos like so many other Toyota enthusiasts can see the videos, right? It basically says, hey, John's audience likes the video. Let's show other viewed people that view this type of content those videos that may not be subscribed. So I appreciate it. And there's 143 of you in here. That's insane. We've never had this many people in a live stream. That is freaking awesome. So if you guys are new to the live streams, I try to answer everyone's questions. I am very, very, very far behind. So please do not get discouraged if I don't answer your question. But as of right now, I try to answer everyone's questions and comments and give you guys some sort of time as well. Instead of just half-assing a question, I try to give you guys as much time as possible for the questions. But we get far behind. So I guess some donations, those definitely help. Like B right here sent a super sticker. If they send a comment with that, like that's a priority reply for me. But you guys do not have to spend your hard-earned money on a dumb person like me. I just appreciate you guys being in here. David says, thanks, John, for your content. I've been hearing a lot with vehicles with turbos being an issue down the road. What are your thoughts on the new TRD Pros having turbos? So this is going to be an ongoing thing forever until the vehicles start to prove themselves. Turbos, yeah, they're not as reliable over time, longevity wise, as a naturally aspirated engine. But it's not like Toyota's just building 50,000-mile engines, right? Like if anyone is going to have reliability, I would pick Toyota or other Asian brands with turbos. But I mean, look at Ford. Ford has been doing the EcoBoost for decades now, right? And there are some issues with it still, but for the most part, those Ford EcoBoost, I think, is a more reliable engine than their 5.0 Coyote. I want to say I saw an article on that. So it's all about longevity and time. And the 2.4 is in a lot of vehicles. The 2.4 liter is in a ton of Toyota Lexus vehicles. So it's going to be a really refined engine, because if something has an issue with the Highlander, right, they may nip it in the butt before it gets onto the Tacoma if the whole engine's the same. I'm not sure about internals and stuff. Cameron says you got to think that the 6th Gen 4Runner TRD Pro is going to have the same / similar interior as the Tacoma. I hope it does. I hope it's not the exact same like the Sequoia and the Tundra are together. But if it looks anything similar to the Tacoma, like that center console grab handle, which Toyota said that they developed and they did, not that they were the first to do it, right? But they wanted some sort of grab handle there. And that was part of the interior for like years. And, you know, because these trucks, like they started doing them like 4 or 5 years ago. And when it was signed off, like that interior with that grab handle was there. And then when Ford revealed the Bronco like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they're like, crap, they have the same style of handle right there that we had in our renderings. But obviously they couldn't show people it 2-3 years ago, because why would, you know, product longevity and stuff. But yeah, I'm interested in the pre-runner. It was awesome. Love the storage in the back. That's all I need in a truck since I have a 4Runner. What's your thought on the pre-runner? How much? I think the pre-runner will be a nice budget truck, and it'll be a nice budget truck. And I don't know how much it would be. I think it would be sub 40, hopefully sub 40, or maybe right at 40. I mean, it just depends on what the current Tacomas kind of are. I would look at a two-wheel drive TRD off-road Tacoma, if you can even configure those on Toyota's website right now, and just kind of base it off of that. But you just got to realize that Toyota is not going to overprice themselves from the Canyons, the Colorados, and the new Ford Ranger. So I don't think that there's going to be a crazy price bump like there was in the Tundra and Sequoia, just because like the Ford F-150, the Rams, the Silverados, like those were all astronomically high in price compared to the 2nd Gen Tundra. So the Tundra had like a lot of wiggle room, unfortunately, to like go up higher. If you look at a Chevy Colorado ZR2 right now, I mean, that's pretty much like for a brand new one, like brand new generation ZR2, that's pretty much the same price as like a current TRD off-road Tacoma. And I would take a ZR2 over the new, like a current Tacoma, honestly, any day. Even though I'm a Toyota fanboy, it's my channel, whatever, it's Toyota stuff. I'd take a new ZR2, or a new Trail Boss, I should say, not a ZR2. Don't light me up. A new Trail Boss over a TRD off-road Tacoma, just because it's new and it's basically the same price. What are the odds to do a 410 gearing on the Trail Hunter since it's slower off-road? I don't think so at all, because it has an 8-speed transmission. So it's kind of like the Tundra because it has a 10-speed transmission. I think that will have a bit different gearing ratios. I think with an 8-speed trans and a 410 gear ratio, that would be that would be unique for sure. They won't need it, yeah, with 465 foot-pounds of torque too. Yep, that is very true. Looking at all the problems with the new Tundra, doubt that Tacoma will have the same issues. I don't think it will. And a lot of the new Tundra stuff was a lot of supplier issues, unfortunately. There are some quality issues too that unfortunately the Tundra had. But the engine for the Tacoma and a lot of other stuff, and just QC things, and just the way that it seems like this Tacoma was thought out, hopefully it's solid right out of the gate running, you know, because the Tacoma was the leader in its class. And not that Toyota has any excuse to slip on a vehicle, which they don't, but the Tundra was never like an F-150. It was never the leader in its class. The Tacoma is the leader in its class. And you have all these brand new vehicles that are going to potentially win best selling in its class this year, right? So the 2024 Tacoma, when it comes out, it needs to hit the ground running hard. Hit the ground running hard, because if the Tacoma loses its crown this year to the Chevy Colorado, which it most likely will, it needs to regain its crown next year. Is the rear sliding window still power? Yep, it will be still power. I didn't mess with it actually, but it's integrated into the glass like the Tundra is. Are you able to talk about the isodynamic seat size? Notice that nobody was able to sit in the back seat of the TRD Pro, and the reason for that is because they had a lot of prototype stuff like shiny plastic stuff in the back, and the seats didn't look exactly what the isodynamic seats should look like. So Toyota didn't want us showing those and like people seeing it and thinking that that was a production vehicle. Maybe they're going to move around some seating positioning and rear seat positioning too, because it definitely looks like there's a lot less room with those ISO seats in the back of the Pro. But yeah, the reason we couldn't get into the back of the white TRD Pro is just because there's a lot of prototype stuff on it. If you guys look at TRD Pro videos from other creators, you'll also notice that people don't really focus on the passenger side door, because that was a bunch of shiny plastic as well, not, good fit and finish material. So Toyota didn't want us to like focus on the passenger door as well. So if you're wondering like, well, why didn't they show the passenger side that much in everyone's videos? That's why, because of prototype stuff. You guys get a little bit behind the scenes things here in the live streams, which is very cool. We have 150 people in here. Absolutely insane. You guys are freaking crazy. That's so cool on a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Curious to see if the basic Trail Hunter will be cheaper than the TRD Pro. I don't care for the roof rack or bed rack. I prefer a matte finish on the Trail Hunter versus the Pro. Yeah, the paint finish on the Trail Hunter is really cool. It looks matte, but it's actually like a very, very metallic-y paint. All the interviews with the Tacoma lead engineer sold me. TRD Pro for me, who knows when available. So Q1 to Q2 of next year for iForce Maxes, and that's what that's going to be. But yeah, Sheldon and his team knocked this Tacoma out of the park. Again, because it was a class leader for what it was. But his enthusiasm for the truck is just absolutely insane. What they thought about the truck too, because they know that a lot of people are going to be buying these, modifying these. They basically made the truck not only relevant for the buyer to take it to the shop, to have the shop put aftermarket stuff on it. Like they didn't just think that through. They thought like the next buyer through and the one after that, to make sure that this truck was going to be good for like all those buyers in the future. And like, just like when the Pre-Runner and the Trail Hunter were showcased in Flagstaff at the Overland Expo, guys, it was freaking pouring rain. It was pouring rain. It was like 40 degrees outside, 45 degrees outside. Toyota still did their announcement. They still talked about the truck. And then Chief Engineer Sheldon Brown, he was just out there answering people's questions in the pouring rain and like so passionate about it. And then the fireside chat too, asking or answering a bunch of people's questions that they had and just talking about it and just everything about this truck. Like the passion was there. And like that, I agree with you. That really helped sell me even more on the truck and like really get me really excited for it. But yeah, the passion's there. The truck's awesome. I mean, we could talk about it all day, Loved everything about my 22 Tacoma bedside and cabin space. Is it worth upgrading to the new Tacoma just for that? I think so. And not only that, but the technology inside, I think it's going to be really good. I personally enjoy the cabin more of this one than my current third gen as well. The wheels look like they take lug bolts like the new Lexuses. Yeah, curious what they're going to be. I don't think so. They kind of look like normal lug nuts on it, but I would assume it's the same patterns and everything as the current hub bore and all that stuff as the current Tacoma. Or maybe it'll be the same as the Tundra. Dibs on your Westcott sliders if you sell the 4Runner. If I sell the 4Runner, the 4Runner is going to be sold as a whole package. That is for sure. Very surprised Toyota didn't showcase the new TRD Pro color on the Tacoma. What a perfect opportunity to do so. Maybe Toyota is ending the whole yearly exclusive color. Nope. So the TRD Pro color is going to be announced this summer. So in a month or two. They didn't say when in summer, but summer starts in like a month, right? So we will see if Toyota has any events or anything like that with a TRD Pro color, or maybe it'll come with Tundra info, with 2024 revised Tundra info stuff. Doing a great job, John, killing it with these videos. I appreciate it so much, AR. Appreciate you guys watching all the time. Have you ever considered buying a car/truck from another brand for the channel? Super good question. So at the start of COVID, when auto manufacturers thought the world was ending and they had to like offload a bunch of their cars to get as much money as possible. And GMC was, and before this whole YouTube channel, guys, I actually had a Chevy Silverado in 2014. And then before that, I did have a second gen 4Runner. So we grew up with domestics like Ford and Chevy in our family. And then we also had some Toyotas. My mom had an old Celica. My dad had a Toyota pickup. And then I had a Toyota 4Runner, but that was like way back in the day that they had those. But anyways, I had a Chevy and I needed a truck and I wanted a truck again. And dude, GMC was doing, I think, 8 years, 0% financing for approved credit. 8 years, 0% financing, and like $10,000 to $15,000 off of MSRP in my local area. And I was going to get a GMC AT4 Sierra, and I should have, but instead I bought a first generation Tundra, which that truck was awesome. I enjoyed it. I didn't get to build it into what I wanted to, but in hindsight, if I would have got that GMC 0% APR, 8 years, $15,000 off MSRP, obviously hindsight 2020, knowing what the world was going to become with used car prices, I could have made like 20 grand on that truck, right? And then rolled it into a new Toyota and all this stuff. But to answer your question, Ford Raptor has always been a desirable truck of mine. I really want a Ford Raptor one day. It's just cool. I know that Fords have issues. It's whatever, but Ford Raptor is definitely one of those vehicles. The new Colorado ZR2s are pretty cool. That new Bison one, I think they are still calling it Bison. The AT4X is awesome from GMC. So, I mean, yeah, if I had to go a different brand, it would honestly, it would probably be if I needed a heavy duty truck, and I'd probably get a Duramax GMC Sierra AT4 or AT4X, depending on when that comes out, and it'd be a Duramax if I was to get another truck. But other cars, not really. I mean, I do like Lexus products. The Toyota cars are cool. BMW, I kind of like BMW cars. They're M cars. But I don't know. There's none that really like stand out that I would be like, dang, that's a nice car that I have to have. Aside from like BMW or some Audis. Audis are pretty nice too when they get all tuned up. Gen X question. When I was in high school in the 80s, some of my friends had Toyota pickups. They were small and so fun to drive. Was this model back when Tundra or a Tacoma? Was this model back then a Tundra? Oh, a Tundra or a Tacoma. I would say it'd be more of like a Tacoma, but they actually just called them Toyota pickup trucks. And then the T100, like in 95, 96 timeframe, I think, or 94, that would be considered like what the Tundra evolved into. So those Toyota pickup trucks eventually turned into the Tacoma, and then the T100 eventually turned into the Tundra. The Trail Hunter is very exciting. I agree with that. It's cool for those that want a overland ready, off-road ready vehicle, and they don't want to like pay the money if their time is like super valuable to them, like modifying it, taking it to shops, doing all this stuff. I think the Trail Hunter is going to be a home run with that crowd for sure. And it just looks cool too. RJ says, what trim level are you looking at purchasing? So I like to tell you guys in the live streams things before everyone else gets to know. I'm looking at the Tier D off-road. And I know that the community tab right now has the Tier D Pro winning, and it also has the Tier D off-road are like very close to the Trail Hunter. But if I can manage it somehow, and if there's a lot of these trucks, not a lot of them available, but since the hybrid maxes, oh gosh, I keep saying that, since the iForce maxes are so far away from like the truck when it comes out, like initially the normal iForces, I think that I'll do just the normal iForce Tier D off-road in either solar octane or underground. Like those are my two top favorite colors for this truck, and just do a whole road trip with it. I'll make a whole video talking about like what my plan is for this actual truck, but do a whole video series on it, road tripping it. Long story short, plan to put 5,000 to 10,000 miles on that truck like within the first month. Totally killing the resale value, but whatever. And just drive the crap out of it. Go to all these places that I work with. They put parts on them, R&D stuff with them, do fat road trip with this truck. And then eventually when we can get our hands on a Tier D Pro the following year, sell that truck. We built it up. We did everything with it, road tripped with it, just everything. Like I'll make a whole dedicated video about that. Excuse me. but then turn that into a TRD Pro. That is my like go-to trim level for this truck over the TRD, over the Trail Hunter, for sure. But it won't be the only Tacoma forever, right? Like the whole longevity of YouTube is like cars in, cars out. I try not to do it like every 2 months to 3 months. I like viewers to not get attached to vehicles, but like build them up and like do decent reviews on vehicles. Like buying the Sequoia and selling the Sequoia is probably like the fastest that I've contemplated about selling a vehicle. And it's just because of stuff like real life stuff that we have going on right now with a rental and with future real estate things, which I'll explain all in that video. But I fully intended to keep the Sequoia for a long time, like a year, 2, 3, 4 years. I honestly did plan on keeping the Sequoia, but yeah. How much MSRP do you think that the Pro will be? I want to say that it will be close to 56 to 60 grand. Because the current Tacoma, I think, TRD Pro, what is the current one? 2023 Tacoma TRD Pro MSRP. Okay, so the current TRD Pro with destination and stuff, it says it starts at 46, which is for the manual. And then the automatic is at 50,390. So since the normal TRD Pro is going to be 50,000 or is automatic with the iForce and all this extra stuff in it, it may bump up another 5 to 6 grand. So yeah, anywhere from $55,000 to $60,000 for a TRD Pro Tacoma. That's crazy. My local dealership straight up told me Trail Hunter and TRD Pro will be a minimum of 10 grand markup. Something needs to be done about this mess. Don't buy it. Make sure no one buys it. Petition out front the dealership. Yeah, it's crazy. Keeping the Tundra, yep, definitely keeping the Tundra. We use the Tundra so much for real estate stuff and everything. Like the Tundra's a workhorse. I'm not selling that Tundra. Well, unless I sell it for another Tundra, but I will always, forever now, if possible, I will always have a full size truck in my driveway. Looking forward to that inevitable markups. Don't pay the markups, guys. If we need to make a video and like it go viral to not do markups, let's freaking do it. But let's not pay markups. Make the dealers sit on these freaking vehicles. I get it for certain things, right? It's a supply and demand issue. So if the supply ain't there, but the demand is there, whatever. That's simple economics. But when there's 10 trucks on the lot and dealers are still asking for markups, F you, right? No, you have 10 of them on the lot. So Toyota bought my Tundra, my 2022 Tundra back. I finally got paid out for the moonroof leak. Nice, dude. Now I don't know to get the Tacoma or Grand Highlander. I'm 6'3", wonder how comfortable the drive seat is. Go over to Tim Estradal's page, Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. Go over to his page. He was so smart. I don't know why I didn't freaking think of this content. So I did ask Connor if he wanted to sit in the back seat of the Tacoma. But he said no, just because there's limited time and everything, and they were prototypes, and he didn't want to like sit in it and it be a bad image, which is perfectly fine because he's 6'8", 6'8" in the back of a Tacoma. So I didn't want to show that, and if he didn't fit, everyone would be like, "Oh, you can't fit in the back of a Tacoma." The dude's 6'8", right? So Tim Estradal though had a video of him sitting in the front seat of the truck, and he was overly comfortable. Unfortunately, the audio cut out in Tim's video. But Connor is 6'8", had him sit in the front of a Tacoma. He got right in, was able to sit there, no problem. So the new Tacoma, for you being 6'3", you'll be perfectly fine driving it. Not sure about the people behind you, but the Grand Highlander, ample space. It's insane. John, how's the backseat room versus the third gen? Tons. I wouldn't say tons, but it is significantly more comfortable than the third generation. Jimmy, what up, man? Any plans to get a Tundra TRD Pro? I did have plans to get the Tundra TRD Pro, but it just never came. And I was not wanting to wait anymore. And then to be completely honest with you, a 6.5 foot bed has been so much more functional for what we've needed a truck for lately with this whole renovation process. We're turning a house into an Airbnb, and we plan to be doing more. But yeah, I don't know. Like the 6.5 foot bed on my current Tundra is just, it's a game changer. It is so nice to have. Yep, the 2024 looks fantastic for sure. Tyler says, are you going to sell your Tacoma for the 2024? Yep. The plan for my Taco was to always have it for about 6 months. and the 6 months is coming up in like June, July. I want to do a couple more trips with it. We have a few more modifications to throw on the Taco, but the plan was always to have that Tacoma for about 6 months to see an overland project through and then trade it basically for the 4th gen. What color do you think the interior will be on the TRD off-road model? Sport is blue. So that little trim piece on the Sport, it can either be that dark blue, which looks very, very cool, gray, or a dark gray. I think that the TRD off-road, it may be an orange, gray, and dark black, or it may just be a gray and a black. I'm not sure. We'll have to see when the packages and everything start to come out from Toyota. I hope it has a rear roll down window. I hate that the new Tacoma doesn't have it. That's my only reason I don't want to trade in my Tundra. Yep, the new Tacoma unfortunately just has a sliding rear window as well. It would have been cool if they were able to do both of it. When will the pricing come out? Most likely at our drive event later in the year. So probably Q4 of this year. Usually it happens only a couple weeks or a month-ish before the vehicles actually debut, right? So this Grand Highlander stuff, in about 7 days, we'll be able to talk about the pricing and everything, and then the vehicles will be rolling out shortly after. Will the first year model have a lot of problems? I don't know. I'm not a psychic. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It's never intended to have problems, right? Very excited to hear that the seats will potentially make their way to other trims. Yeah, that'd be cool. They're kind of like talking about that a little bit. Nothing official, obviously, just like, because they're talking about a lot how the trucks could be dressed up to other trucks and dressed down, like if needed. Like if you wanted something on another model, you could put it up or whatever. So the seats kind of came up in that conversation. I do some gnarly stuff, and it would be pleased to have those featured on the trails for sure. Man, the TRD Pro and bronze oxide would be straight lit. Yeah, bronze oxide color is very good. Will the 2024 Pro be available in manual? So no iForce Maxes will have a manual transmission. So that is a no, unfortunately. No problem, guys, for answering your questions. No problem, no problem. Good on Toyota for not showing the pre-production stuff. People are stupid. Yeah, everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but there's a lot of people that seem to take everything on the internet literally at face value. Or I can explain, hey, it's pre-production, like in a video, and people scrub through videos so fast, and then they leave comments saying like, oh, well, why didn't you talk about this? Or what is this? Like they'll literally take the time to scrub through a video, type it out in a comment, wait for someone to respond to them when it was literally in the video. So first world problems, stuff that I deal with sometimes. Curious to see if how the Tacoma or Tundra Trail Hunter turns out, especially with their available upgrades. Yeah, the Tacoma Trail Hunter, I mean, that was really put together well. The Tundra Trail Hunter at like SEMA compared to what the Tacoma Production Trail Hunter was, that Tundra at SEMA, it was meh, like compared to what the actual Tacoma Trail Hunter was, right? Like with all the like official ARB stuff, everything integrated perfectly. It looked really, really good and well put together. And then even the interior, honestly, like I would contemplate a Trail Hunter just because of the interior. The interior of the Trail Hunter is by far my favorite looking one, with kind of like the stone graphite and stuff, the yellow stitching and everything, the kind of boulder interior. It looks so good. I love the interior of the Trail Hunter. Is there a stat for a stock lift for the TRD Pro / Sport? There is no stat for it yet. Most likely during the first drive event, we will get all of those documents and materials and all the stats for height and all that stuff. I know somewhere there was a ground clearance document. It may be in our press material or on Toyota's official press site material. But there's no stats, I don't think, for like officially how high it is. I want to say it's like an inch higher than normal SR5, but I'm not sure compared to each other. Interior did not feel cheap and loose like the Tundra. And honestly, my Platinum Tundra, it doesn't feel cheap and loose. My SR5 felt a little bit more cheap. Yes, they are planning on making as many Tacomas as they are now. So I think they make what now, like 150 to 200,000 a year. So that is their goal. Seeing that color on the Trail Hunter makes me think about letting my Tundra Pro go. If your Tundra Pro is the solar octane, let me know, Sean. But I probably won't pick it up. But still, yeah, that bronze oxide is a very good color. Heard from a friend that saw the new Pro in person. that there won't be any leg room space in the back seats with the ISO seats. Yeah, it's looking a little bit challenging in the back of that just because of the seats, but we shall see. What are the chances that Tacoma gives the off-road trim a 6-foot bed option? So not as the start, like per their website, not really at the start, unless we're missing some details there. But it's all about model year shelf life or life cycle, model life cycle or whatever, right? So like the Tundra next year, right? They came out with, or for 2023, they came out with a couple new things for Tundra, not like groundbreaking, but like the XS model. Have you seen a Tundra Nightshade yet? No, most likely coming. Ton of people are asking for a TRD off-road on the Platinum, right? That may be something that Toyota does. So they can see this the extra cab pre-runner. A lot of people are saying, oh, it'd be nice to have a manual in that. Or a lot of people are saying, oh, it may be cool to have a TRD off-road with the extra cab. They don't offer that yet, right? But maybe 2 years from now, if the demand is still there, they may be like, hey, let's do this, because maybe someone was holding off on a Tacoma. Boom, now it's their time to buy. Or maybe they bought a double cab instead of an extra cab and they're like, oh, I want this. Boom, now they buy a new car and they sell their old one. Now there's 2 Tacomas out there. So it's all about long-term model life for all that stuff. ISO seats, 99% never needed gimmick. I don't know, dude. Depends on the people that off-road, what type of off-roading you do with your vehicle. And it's a Pro. I want everything in a Pro, personally. I just don't want it to be stickers, and badging. Have you heard anything about the possible Tundra mid-refresh? Would love to see some of the new Tacoma features on the Tundra along with Sequoia front end. Not a huge fan of the bow tie grill. I don't like the Sequoia front end on the Tundra, honestly. There was a shop that put the Sequoia front end on the Tundra, and I personally didn't like it. But to each their own. A lot of people did like it, right? But I don't know. I don't know when the mid-cycle refresh would be. The first Tundra or the second generation Tundra, it was like 7 years in, something like that. It came out in 2007, and the first one was in 2014. So we'll see. Do you still have your Toyota? Yes. Not sure which one, Tyler. My hope is to get the JBL as cheaply as possible. That'd be sweet too. Yeah, we weren't able to play with the JBL sound system in them, but it'd be sweet. Are you still? Yes, I still have the Tundra. Yes. And it's going to get built up here pretty soon. Exciting, less than 30K SR options. Yeah, hopefully the SRs still stay pretty cheap like the current ones. The pre-runner to me looks like better than all the double cabs except for the TRD Pro. I know I'm the minority. Yeah, I mean, the pre-runner looks good. It's very well proportioned. I think it looks really good. Any rumors on the Land Cruisers coming back to the U.S.? Huge rumors about that. Kind of died off a little bit, but hopefully with this new GX coming out soon and being revealed to us soon, we'll be able to see somewhat of that, and maybe that'll start rekindling some of the Land Cruiser rumors. Do you think there's any chance that we will see a 6-speed manual option for the new 4Runner? No, not at all. Not at all, my friends. Some of these questions I've already answered, but I know you guys are just joining in. So if you guys are joining in, I'm catching up on some comments right now. We talked about the Tacoma a little bit and my trip in Hawaii. It's a fantastic truck. I can't wait to drive it. The trip was absolutely incredible. But if you guys are new to the live stream, because we have 166 people in here, which we've never hit that much before. We've always topped out at like 80. So a lot of you guys may be new subscribers, or you just have the time on Tuesday. I appreciate it. But I get pretty far behind in comments. And the reason for that is because I like to answer everyone's comments. But we're going to have the live stream going for maybe another 20 minutes or so. I like to do an hour to hour and a half live streams. But I try to answer everyone's questions if possible. And if I don't get to yours, it doesn't mean I hate you. It just means there's a lot of freaking questions in here right now. And I try to get to everyone. Trail Hunter accessories are also backed up by factory warranty. This is 100%. Huge plus. Yeah, no, I agree. That is definitely a big thing to keep in consideration. Some people may not like all that, right? But that's a big thing. And not only that is it all under warranty, but it's all financeable. Like if you're not one that pays cash for your vehicles, it's all financeable into one payment, which is cool. A lot of folks with the bucks love gimmicks, ISO seats like me. 100%. Throw it all in there. I'll be buying from whichever brand the dealer of the new gen does not gouge. Yep, and hopefully you try a couple Toyota dealerships. Just don't go to one and think that all Toyota dealerships are bad, because there's a lot of good ones. Man, I hope the Land Cruiser is on the retro side. I do too. Like I said, I think that hopefully this GX that we get to see here pretty soon, if that has any indication on the 4Runner and the Land Cruiser, man, I'm going to be so hyped. I'm 316 says, John, thanks for putting it out there and not paying the markup. Dealers are party poopers. 100%. I mean, but again, like I said, I get the supply and demand stuff. I 100% get that. That's just how economics work, right? Like me selling the Sequoia, I see that the market value of the Sequoia is $95,000 to $100,000. That's insane, right? Untamed Motors picking up a stupid outdated Land Cruiser. I sorry about Land Cruiser fans, like 200 series Land Cruiser fans, but those things are overpriced. But the market on those right now is 130 grand when MSRP was, 80 for those, 90 maybe for those. So I get that dealers charging over MSRP on a brand new vehicle. I do. But when there are multiples of those vehicles at a dealership, I don't think it's right. Right. So for me, like selling the Sequoia, I'm going to really see what people are paying for them at. If I make a few thousand, I make a few thousand. But at the end of the day, if I sell it for what I got it for, I'm not going to be like terribly upset. But I'm also not going to jip myself when I know the market on the used vehicle. New vehicles, I don't know. It's this fine line that I want to walk with that vehicle, because at the end of the day, I tell you guys, try not to pay MSRP if you can't. If you have to pay a couple thousand MSRP and you need the vehicle and like that dealer's there and it's convenient, whatever. Like that's what it is at the end of the day. But if you can hold off and if you don't need the vehicle and you're okay waiting, then that's the other side of that sword. Anyone carrying a family needs a full-size truck anyways, for sure. Yeah, we use the full-size truck all the time. And it depends though too, like how big your family is. You could definitely get by on the Tacoma until your kids are 10, 12 years old. I feel like this new one, like the new cab, is pretty decent. Rumors of the Toyota Stout are circulating. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are I can't freaking wait for it. A small Toyota pickup, potentially like with the 2.5 hybrid engine. So you're talking 35 to 40 miles per gallon in like a Toyota truck that you could just take to Lowe's or something like that, put it in. That'd be so cool. Super, super cool. I really hope Toyota comes out with the Stout sooner than later, because that's a hot market for sure. 2011 4Runner, should I upgrade my 2011 to a 2019 4Runner, and what color? 2019 would be Voodoo Blue if you could find a TRD off-road. That is a beautiful color, but I'd upgrade the fourth, or that early fifth gen is cool. But you really see a lot of differences with that refresh from 2014, 15, I believe. And I would magnetic gray metallic. You can't go wrong with that color, or white. I mean, you'll find a ton of 4Runners in white. Just be careful of the paint though. Thoughts on the EV Land Cruiser leak? Again, it looks exactly like the stuff that we saw during that EV conference that Toyota put on, right? That EV Cruiser or whatever it was. So it looked exactly like that. I'm under the notion now that a lot of those vehicles for that EV thing are vehicles that Toyota is going to be bringing us in the future, which is kind of crazy. So I think it's real, especially based off the Tacoma one. Why didn't they reveal the Tier D off-road? Is it because they already had the Pro and the Trail Hunter there? So the reason we have not seen a Tier D off-road Tacoma, SR5, or SR is because they literally aren't built yet for us to see. The pre-runner that was in Flagstaff, that truck had less than a mile on it. It literally drove off the assembly floor, I think a week prior or 2 weeks prior to that event. And they couldn't get it to Hawaii in time for us. So they just had it at the Overland Expo. But it's just because the Tier D off-roads don't exist yet for us to see. There's plenty of prototypes out there, I'm sure, but not one that is well put together for the consumer to put their eyes on. Is Toyota doing like the Grand Cherokee thing with the Highlander and Grand Highlander? I don't know. So their reasoning for Grand Highlander is because of brand identity. I get that. And they did think of other names for it. I personally think that it should have been named something else. just because I don't like the Grand like before something. Just give it a different name. Like the TX is going to be its own thing, right? It's not called the Grand RX. It's called the TX. Like Lexus gave it a different name. So for Toyota, it's brand identity. Personally, I think it's kind of a unique name. I wish it would have been something else, but hopefully they don't keep doing that with other vehicles. Who knows? Or Highlander XL, like Ford does with some of their stuff. Not a fan of red seats. What other seat options do you think they'll have available for the Pro? Probably black. I think if the current Tundra is anything to indicate for that, probably black. Gotcha. Question. Heck yeah, dude. Love it when you guys answer each other's questions. MPG for the normal iForce. So just kind of talked about that. I would look at the Highlander MPGs, the RX MPGs, like with that 2.4 liter in it, and kind of go off of there. This truck may get like 25 miles per gallon on the highway and around 19 to 20 in the city. But we'll see. But we will see. My mouth is getting dry. Holy smokes. A lot of questions this time, dude. You guys are keeping me on my freaking toes. A lot of you still in here. 150. I appreciate that, man. That is so awesome. We'll go for like another 15 minutes to about 8:30 or so. I try to get as many questions as I can, though. Do you remember the electric Tacoma concept? I knew that design minus the closed grille would be the 2024 Tacoma. Yeah, so basically, I asked this question. They signed off on that design, right? I think they said like a month prior or 2 months prior or something like that. They signed off on what the Tacoma design was, right? So if that EV event was 2 years ago, Toyota already knew to an extent. They still had to change some things around for crash ratings and comfort and some engineering stuff. But they already knew what the fourth gen Tacoma was going to look like 2 years ago. So when they did that EV summit and they wanted a truck to be there, they literally just used the fourth gen Tacoma because they loved it so much. So that is why that truck was there, which makes me think, if other cars are in development, a couple years ago, maybe something like that, that EV thing was probably a sign for all that, right? But yeah, it looked good there. They did change some stuff, some hood, some fenders. Some things are a little bit different because of crash ratings and like dimensions, but for the most part, it's there. What's your favorite cereal? I don't eat cereal. It's too much sugar. I don't know. Back in the day, I liked Cookie Crisp. Cookie Crisp is good. Reese's Puffs. But I ate so much crap food as a kid, and it's just crazy. Like I don't eat cereal anymore. What's it called? Not Raisin Bran. Grape Nuts, like super unpopular, like for a kid. But I like Grape Nuts as a kid. That was weird. Are you getting a 24 Trail Hunter or Pro for your channel next year? I'll be going Pro all the way. Gonna be getting a Tier D off-road first. I'll make a video about that for you guys. But the ultimate goal will to be a Pro. Extra cab, 4x4 locker, 6-speed manual is what I want. Exactly. So if the demand is there, model longevity, Toyota may offer it in a year or two. I be laying rubber everywhere. The pre-runner had a manual. Maybe that's why they don't offer it. But yeah, I find it kind of strange that the access cab or the extra cab is so bare bones, yet the manual is not offered in any extra cabs. It may definitely be a thing that Toyota does later if the manual is still like a desirable option for people, like if they're still selling like a good amount. But yeah, it's like such a bare bones truck. I don't know why it doesn't have a bare bones transmission too. That's crazy. You think Toyota will make the Trail Hunter on the 6th Gen 4Runner? I do, especially if it's successful on the Tacoma. Their goal is to have it on all body on frame platforms, basically. So Tundra, Sequoia, 4Runner, new Land Cruiser, potentially Tacoma. I never bought a new car truck, let alone a Toyota. The dealership had me come in and fill out a sheet with what trims I'm interested in, colors I preferred. They took my card information down. Heck yeah, dude. So that's normal, but just make sure they give you something in return for it. Like make sure like they gave you a printed out thing saying that you paid them, right? Like $500 or $1,000 for a deposit. So if they didn't, make sure they didn't charge your card. And if they did charge your card, go back to the dealership and say, hey, I want documentation that you guys took this information down this much this day for certain vehicle. Hope it's based on the Prado. Yep, I agree with that. No manual in the Pro. Hey, John, what do you think? Oops, lost my screen. What do you think? Hey, John, what do you think about the lunchbox locker in the rear of this 2-wheel drive Toyota pickup that gets daily driven and ridden on trails once a month. I think that it will be fine, you know? I mean, and it depends on your trails too. You know, I mean, if they're overly aggressive trails and you don't have a lot of weight in the back, then you know, maybe consider a four-wheel drive. But at the end of the day, like a locker in the rear, that's all you need. Like it's really all you need for a lot of trails. It's if you start getting like into more dicey stuff. I mean, everything here in Florida, I could do in two-wheel drive, like without a locker, right? It's just if you air down your tires, you should be good. John, how many vehicles do you own? What are they? Last question. Do you live in Florida? I do live in Florida. So I got a lot of new subscribers lately because of all this Tacoma stuff, which is understandable, which I may do a garage update video just so people know what I have. But I have this TRD Pro 4Runner behind me, a 2018. I have a 2022 Tacoma TRD Pro, 2023 Sequoia TRD Pro, which we'll be selling soon, and then a 2023 Tundra Platinum. And the 22 Tacoma TRD Pro also has a shelf life on this channel. I picked it up in January, late January, February, and it had a shelf life, and I mentioned that when I bought that truck, of about 6 months. We were going to build it up, off-road it, do a bunch of cool stuff with it, getting more Tacoma viewers on this channel because I didn't really have a lot of Tacoma viewers. But I just wanted a Tacoma to like show those guys that I, you know, have passion for the taco. But it was always like, hey, have this truck, build it up. We'll showcase the 4th gen Tacoma, have that truck as well, or have the 3rd gen as well, showcasing that 4th gen, sell that truck, money that we make on that truck, put in a little bank for the 4th gen Tacoma when it's time. Some reviewers gave screenshots of the spec sheet they gave y'all at the event. Can you link us the entire spec sheet? So if you go here, I will share this screen again. If you guys go here on Toyota's page, right, literally go to toyota.com and you'll see the Tacoma here. You can either get updates or check out the press release. So right here, it'll bring you to product. This is literally the Toyota Tacoma press release that I got. There may be more stuff in here or more stuff that I have than that this shows, but it tells you everything, you know, from the 2.4 liter turbo, the normal iForce, the iForce Max, all the stuff about Trail Hunter. But it should pretty much, oh, that didn't have it. Oh, click here for details. Oh, full press kit. There we go. All right, this is now what we have. So you have to do that and then full press kit. So yeah, so this has literally everything. So like from the photos, and this is all the crap that leaked early from some a-hole that wanted to hack Toyota's website and couldn't wait 5 freaking hours to review everything. But yeah, this literally has everything, talking about the Fox shocks, the extra cab, maximum tow package, right, of like 6,500 pounds, the payload, which we only have, and maximum payload increases to 1709 on the Tier D off-road, which that's sick. So, I mean, yeah, it has everything in here on Toyota's website. So if you just go to Toyota's website, make your way over there, you'll be able to see the whole press kit. Never sell the 4Runner. I don't plan to right now. I did for a little bit, but I think it's going to be beneficial for us to keep it as of right now. Do you expect the TRD off-road to have cooled seats? That would be cool, but I'm not sure. Very interested to see what the actual packages are for that truck. They may just keep that for limited and Trail Hunter and Pro. I'm surprised the Land Cruiser 300 front locker didn't make it to the TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Was there any discussion about that at the expo event? Yeah. So if you go to Tim Estradal's channel, Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, Sheldon Brown actually talked about why he didn't put a front locker in the vehicle. Basically, parts performance. He didn't want people snapping axles, people that aren't used to having a front locker in a truck, to really just break it, essentially. And the front sway bar disconnect, it allows those tires to touch the ground, give you traction, hopefully, so you don't need a front locker in conjunction with their crawl control. You can set your channel to sub-only mode for live commenting. You're doing a great job. You know what? I may do that. If next week, if we have a lot of comments like this, I may just do it to sub-only mode. 1, it forces people to subscribe, and 2, it'll keep those of you that are subscribed in the loop, and maybe I won't miss your guys' questions. So I appreciate that. I may do that next week, depending on how many people we have in the live stream. Thank you. When are you going to test drive the new Taco? Later this year, Q4, I would say, of this year. Local dealerships said 6 to 8K markups, got it on their wait list for a Trail Hunter. Longo Toyota SoCal, they don't do markups. Heck yeah, dude, that's awesome. Hey, John, I know any spec on the Tier D off-road. No specs crazy on the Tier D off-road, but if you go to Toyota's press release, you'll be able to see pretty much everything, at least as of right now, but more specs and like spec sheets, like legit stuff coming later on. Does Toyota encourage the reviews to be positive in any way? No, that's why I like showing Toyota stuff, because they want us to be real about things. Obviously not bash the vehicle every single time, right? Like if you have an issue with the vehicle, like let them know first. But Toyota, they basically allow you to be straight up. Like me and my old Tundra, you know, I had issues with that Tundra. The center console rattled. I made that pretty apparent that sucked in a $50,000-$60,000 truck, that a center console rattled. Like it's where you put your arm all the time, it rattled. My window was a piece of crap in that truck. It rattled. The wind noise was horrible in that truck. I mean, not super horrible. So like I made things apparent. And Toyota's perfectly fine with that. And in fact, there's fixes for a lot of that stuff. Not saying that was me, but it gets enough people checking out their trucks. Oh, it's okay to complain about some stuff to my dealership. So no, they don't have to be positive. They have to be positive, but not fake positive, you know, like showcase the positive stuff with this truck. If you have to showcase some negative with the truck, oh well, like the Tundra not having, you know, some certain things that this Tacoma has. I'm going to make a video on that. That's not all positive about the Tundra. It's saying, hey, the Tacoma is way better than the Tundra at these 5 things I wish my Tundra had. I can make videos like that. It's perfectly fine. At the end of the day, it's my YouTube channel, right? Toyota doesn't own it. But I do like getting invited to the event, so I'm not going to purposely bash a vehicle if it's not everything that it's meant to be. I may make my opinions on it, but I'm not going to like deliberately bash the vehicles, if that makes sense. Guessing red seats will be an option. Yeah, I think there'll be 2 interiors, red and black, just like the Tier D Pro. I already answered that one. I like to see a 4-door Tier D off-road packages. I know, me too, because that's the way I'm leaning for sure. Waiting on the next gen 4Runner. Any idea when it'll come? Hopefully next year. We will see. Hopefully next year. So I know I said I like to give you guys time, but we are running out of time. So I'm going to kind of rapid fire through the rest of these at the end. I eat oatmeal with walnuts and blueberries only, no cereal for me either. Yeah, for sure. So like, honestly, my breakfast of choice, it's a banana, ice, like it's a smoothie. So a banana, ice, some protein, almond butter for like some fats, and almond milk, which someone said this the other day. They said that they wish they called it almond juice, which I agree with that, because it shouldn't be called milk. It should be called almond juice. So I 100% agree with that. But that's what I put in my smoothie literally every morning. When do you think the Tacoma Tier D off-road will be shown? Hopefully soon. Maybe like the first time we'll actually see it in person is at our drive event. But yeah, they just don't have any of them built yet. Did they mention if stick shifts are full-time all-wheel drive, transfer case, loan high? No, they're just going to be on part-time 4-wheel drives, because I don't think the only truck that will have all-wheel drive like that is the Limited. How much do you think the Tier D Pro trim will be? Anywhere from 55 to 60. Hopefully not anything more. That would just be insane. They took my card info down, but they said they wouldn't charge my card until they started getting VINs. I've been talking to my salesman for a few months now. Okay, just stay on top of them. And if they can get anything in writing, that'd be cool. But that's a nice dealership that they won't take money until they get VINs. But at the same time, if someone gives them money, they may make their way to the top of the list. But just stay on top of them. It sounds like a good dealership, but just make sure. Wood loves the new Tundras. Heck yeah, dude. Do you think they'll offer iForce Max manual? No, it's just the way that transmission works. No iForce Max will be a manual. All the goodies from the Taco, what do you think will transfer over to the 2024 Tundra? I don't know if really anything will transfer over to the Tundra, but I feel like eventually the little tailgate trick on both sides, that was really cool with the Tacoma on both passenger side and driver side. The shelves were cool to have on the passenger side glove box compartment, like across the board for the Tacoma. I hate in the Tundra how after SR5 you lose the passenger shelf right there. The Tacoma had I don't know, these things called recovery hooks in the front, which for me, I don't care. I'm not going to put my Platinum in a situation where I would need recovery hooks in the front, but you never know, right? So there's a lot of stuff on that Tacoma that I'm going to sit down and make a video about that for you guys. Wife wants to wait for the 4Runner redesign, but I'm excited for the new Taco as well. Can't wait. Potentially also GX2, right? Like if she likes the 4Runner, she may like the GX, and the GX seems to be coming out faster than the 4Runner. So last few questions, guys. If you guys have anything else real quick, fire them in here because we got a few minutes left. I got 4 questions left. So we caught up pretty well. I appreciate so many of you guys being in here on a Tuesday. We had like a peak, I think, of like 170 people. That was insane that you guys all want to hang out like that. That is so cool. AR says, how do you anticipate the trail hunter accessories affecting the third-party market, especially if they can be financed upon buying? Do you think that Toyota's way of squeezing out the little guys? I don't think so. And the only reason I say I don't think so is because of Toyota's AAP program. So Toyota's AAP program kind of helps out the little guy-ish in the sense of Toyota blessing their parts, right? Saying, hey, your parts are approved for the Toyota. If you're able to produce this many parts for us, we will sell them alongside the vehicle. So the Trail Hunter, in collaboration with ARB, cool, right? But Toyota will still sell stuff alongside brand new vehicles that you could get in the AAP program to put into the Tacoma as well, Tundra, 4Runner, whatever, right? So I don't think they're trying to squeeze out the little guy. If anything, with the AAP program, if companies are able to work hard enough and produce parts and stuff for Toyota, I think that actually helps them out as well. But the Trail Hunter is only one model, right? At the end of the day, the TRD Pro is still going to need like rock sliders if you want to put that on a TRD Pro. The TRD Pro is still going to need bed stiffeners potentially. TRD Off-Road will still need skid plates. So there's tons of other models out there that will still need parts. When's the Florida meetup? I don't know, dude. I'm not I'm not crazy about like meetups and stuff. I don't like it's still crazy that like 100 people want to like hear me talk and us all talk about Toyota stuff. So like it hasn't like crossed my mind to do a meetup or like merchandise. Tons of people ask me for merchandise. Like, John, where can I get a shirt or a patch or this or that? And like, it hasn't like crossed my mind to do that stuff. I did patches one time and they're actually pretty good. So maybe I'll do patches and stuff in the future or something, but I don't know. I just like being like a small channel. I don't know. It seems like if I go to that next level, like there's no going back. And I just don't want things to not be like organic anymore or like just kind of one-on-one feeling. I don't know, but maybe there's the flip side of that makes it even better. Maybe it's even more good feeling to do those meetups. But like whenever I go to events like the Overland Expo and stuff and people come up and say what's up and like I give them time and we talk like as much as I can, that's cool. So I like seeing people at events. I just don't know if I'd ever host my own event. Good. It's a little delayed. Doing good. How are you? That's good, man. Vortex says, hey, John, I think I speak for all of us when I say I truly appreciate and love your recent content on the Tacoma. Yeah, I hope I gave you guys enough content. There's definitely some stuff I missed, man. There's a few things that I missed. There was just so much information about the truck. Like if you guys go and read that press release, there's so much information about the truck, and I'm only a one-man band, right? I film it all myself, I edit it all myself, and that's the way I want to always be. I may have my wife start to help me filming because she does a really good job filming, and I'm able to like concentrate and show things. But there are some things I missed. There's 100% some things I missed. Like on the extra cab, you can move that whole back panel down, and there's like molly panel all back there, and you can pin stuff to the back of that. In the extra cab, I totally missed the high lift jack point on the tow hitch. Like on the back of certain models, there's like a little flat portion to where you could put a high lift jack on the back of models. So there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I missed. I try to show as much as possible, but there's just so much on such a small truck. Last few questions. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Vortex. Did I hear did I hear you right in saying that you would take a Trail Boss over a 2024 Tacoma TRD Pro? No, you heard me wrong. I would take a Trail Boss over the current Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Someone was asking about price of vehicles for that, for like how much more expensive will the new Tacoma be? And I was saying that the current Trail Boss is pretty dang close to a TRD Off-Road price of a current Tacoma. And I would buy a new Trail Boss or maybe a little bit nicer of like a Z71 Canyon or Colorado over a current Tacoma, since they're around the same price. But no, I buy a new TRD Pro 2024 over a Chevy any day. I have no use for the power tailgate. It's lightweight anyway, super lightweight. So it's aluminum, but it's like 33% or something like that, I believe, more rigid than the outgoing tailgate. So I have a reel or YouTube short that I'll post maybe tomorrow that I opened it up normal, like it's actually a normal tailgate, and I just did one finger and I closed it. It's a super light tailgate. Do you think you'll ever get another RAV4? I'm not sure. It's not like we have kids or anything, but we do have dogs, and we use our vehicles a lot for things that we're kind of putting bigger items into it. Maybe a redesigned RAV4, but I really did enjoy our RAV4. But my wife, since we got the Sequoia, she wants like a bigger SUV, like a Grand Highlander or the Lexus TX potentially, or just like a bigger SUV, maybe something more Highlander sized versus a RAV4. But the RAV4 was great. Should have never sold ours. We should have never sold the RAV4. It was getting like 40 miles a gallon. You know, it was good. It would have been paid off right now. So, but it was great. Any maintenance problems with your 4Runner? The only issue that I have with my 4Runner right now is my passenger front window and my passenger mirror. So my passenger front window does not roll down or go up via my driver's side dials or buttons, but I can roll it down on the passenger side. So if I'm sitting on the passenger side, I can roll it up and down. If I'm sitting in the driver's seat, I can't do it. And my mirror, it only goes up and down. I can't change it like pitch or side by side. So it's kind of weird with the 4Runner. It just stopped working one day. I do need to put a new battery in that 4Runner. So hopefully a battery just fixes it, or maybe it's a fuse somewhere. I don't know. But those are the only issues I have with my 4Runner. Other than that, tip-top shape. Nothing wrong with it at all. Gio, what up, man? Joined the party a little bit late. The party's going to stop soon. We started at about 7 o'clock. It's all good. But I like to do these for about an hour to an hour and a half, and we're pushing a little bit over an hour and a half. Any thoughts on when the 5th Gen 4Runner will be coming? Any insider release on time? I believe you mean 6th Gen because this is the 5th Gen. Probably next year, hopefully. Hopefully we start to get rumors and stuff really turning next year. Am I the only one that was hoping for a lower tuned version of the Tundra engine in the Taco? Also wish they would have made the rear seat space a little bigger. Other than that, no complaints. So the rear seat space is a little bit bigger, but you are definitely not the only one. I wanted a detuned iForce engine in the Pro or something like that. It would have been sick. Would have been so cool. The TRD exhaust sounds surprisingly good, and it really does. I mean, low rumbles. When you rev it, sounds like a 4-banger, but low rumbles, pretty good. Have a good evening, John. Go Gators baseball. Heck yeah, man. Enjoy the game. And last one from AR. Did a great job today. Great discussion. Well, everyone, I appreciate it. We topped out at like 170 people. That is so absolutely insane. I just posted a video before this, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, going over the recent Lexus TX teaser photos that they gave us, and also talking about how we may soon be seeing the new GX as well in that video. So very quick speculation video going over some teaser photos, kind of like how we did with the Tacoma. I just posted that video about an hour or two before the live stream. So if you guys want to go check that out, that would be awesome. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Peace out, Vortex. See you later. See you later, Omar. Is the 4Runner having the Tacoma front design? No idea, but I would be perfectly okay with that. Yep. And it will most likely be a hybrid, kind of like the Sequoia, how it's only offered in a hybrid. Also, would you suggest to go with a 5th Gen 4Runner TRD Pro, or wait? I would get a 5th Gen Pro and then roll that into a 6th Gen if you like it. That would be what I would do. But guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys hopefully next week for another live stream. But all right, guys, have a great night.